Without confidence, life feels like being carried by the current, moving forward but never choosing a direction. Talent alone is never enough. When fear dictates your actions, even the brightest potential remains locked away. Countless people move through the world unheard, afraid to speak, afraid to fail, afraid to be noticed at all. Stay with this story until the very end, because it may mirror something deep inside you, and it might just become the moment everything shifts. In a crowded city filled with noise and motion, there lived a small-time merchant who earned his living selling salt. His home was simple, shared with his wife and 2 sons. The younger boy was outgoing, fearless, and quick to speak. The older one was quiet, reserved, and uncomfortable in the presence of others. Silence became his identity. People mistook his calm nature for foolishness. Some mocked him. Others exploited his gentleness. He endured it all without protest. His father, however, saw only weakness. Harsh words became routine, and disappointment echoed through the house. With every scolding, the boy's confidence cracked a little more. As the years passed, fear followed him everywhere, even into the classroom. During exams, his hands trembled. His thoughts froze. Answers he knew slipped away the moment the paper was placed in front of him. Slowly, he fell behind, not because he lacked intelligence, but because fear had taken control. When he reached adulthood, his father called him into the shop and told him it was time to help support the family. Terrified of failing again, he agreed, but anxiety ruled his actions. He stumbled over words, misunderstood customers, and made careless mistakes. Each error fueled his father's anger. One afternoon, while the shop stood unattended, a group of men arrived with convincing smiles and false authority. They claimed they had been sent to collect the salt for official delivery across the city. The young man felt doubt rise within him, but fear silenced his questions. Before he could gather the courage to speak, the men disappeared with every sack of salt. That evening, the truth exploded. The empty shop became a courtroom, and the verdict was cruel. His father's rage cut deeper than any blade. He was cast out, crushed by words he could never forget. Neighbors whispered. Shame followed him through the streets. In his mind, he was no longer a son, no longer useful, no longer worthy. Overwhelmed and broken, he wandered to the river's edge. The water moved swiftly, just like his thoughts. He believed his life had no value, that failure was all he would ever be. As he stepped closer, ready to surrender everything, a firm hand seized his arm. An elderly man stood beside him, breathless but steady. Furious and desperate, the young man shouted, asking why he had been stopped, declaring that his existence meant nothing. The old man's voice was calm, yet powerful. He spoke of life's rarity, of second chances, of unseen strength hidden beneath pain. Giving up, he said, ends every possibility before it begins. Through tears, the young man confessed his fears, his lack of education, the shame his own father carried for him. He questioned whether someone so weak even deserved to live. The old man listened, then simply turned and asked him to follow. At his modest home, the old man made a promise. 3 days, 3 challenges. Complete them, and everything would change. With nothing left to lose, the young man agreed. On the first day, he was told to speak to 10 strangers. Not to impress them, not to sell anything, but simply to listen. Rejection met him often. Some ignored him. Others walked away. Still, he persisted. By sunset, he had spoken to 10 people and discovered something unexpected. Conversations did not destroy him. They strengthened him. On the second day, the task felt impossible. He was asked to teach children about the importance of water. Panic surged. He doubted his knowledge, his voice, himself. The old man reminded him that wisdom isn't about knowing everything, but sharing what you do know. With shaking hands, he stood before the children. He spoke simply, then again. Each word felt lighter than the last. Fear loosened its grip. The third day brought the hardest test. He was told to return home and face his father. Terror rushed back instantly, but the choice was clear. Courage or silence, he went home, bowed his head, and apologized sincerely. There were no excuses, only resolve. His father saw something different in his eyes, something stronger than before, and offered him one final chance. When the young man returned to the old man, he asked for the promised secret. The old man smiled. The lesson had already been learned. Fear had been the real enemy all along. Confidence shapes how the world responds to you. When you believe in yourself, others follow. Strength begins inside. Years later, that once silent boy became a respected businessman, known not just for success, but for self-assurance. Confidence was not something he was born with. It was something he built, one brave step at a time. Remember this. No one is destined to fail. Fear shrinks when challenged. Courage grows when practiced. Step beyond what feels comfortable, and you will uncover power you never imagined. The world reflects the belief you carry within. Trust yourself. Move forward even if your steps are small. Inside you is strength waiting to be claimed. If this story touched you, support it by liking and sharing your thoughts in the comments, so others can find it too. I'll return soon with another story worth your time. Until then, stay patient, stay grateful, and keep moving forward.